Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yam prayantya visanti tad vijiknyasasva tad brahmeti. Good morning, everybody. This mantra is from a well-known dialogue between Bhrigu, a well-known Bhrigu, who's a great sage. He goes to his father regarding the knowledge of Brahman. And the father, Varuna, he says, crave to know well that from which all these beings take birth, that by which they live after being born, that into which they move and into which they merge, that is Brahman. This whole vast universe has a root. Seek that root and you will find not only origins, but also the end, the goal. So we have this in the Taittiriya Upanishad. It's one of the old Upanishads. The idea is there is a kind of a beginnings, a kind of a womb, and that is called the matrix. I'm not talking about the movie where reality is simulated and everything appears as a dream. No, I'm talking about it from the Sir Thomas More's Utopia. That was a dystopian view of life. The Matrix movie. And it's so unhappy, so sad. And Thomas More's Utopia was also a happy place, but such things don't exist. So I'm using the word matrix in the sense of origins, not in the biological or the mathematical sense. It's just something from where things emerge, the starting point. And Bhrigu is being taught, search there. And he searched it through concentration. And his father gives him various pathways. And every time he attains one level of understanding, his father says, go ahead, there's still more. And after 4 or 5 attempts, he realized the matrix. So we today, we're going to speak about a matrix, and it's going to be a little philosophical. But like all higher philosophies, it is spiritual. In fact, life itself is so beautiful, it's so spiritual, it's so sublime. Everything, the birds and plants and insects and animals and the variety that life has thrown out at us, it's an almost spiritual feeling. Why do people need to go to temples and build temples Why can't they just pay attention to what's around them? The way we grasp beauty, the way we perceive beauty, I mean, it transcends the aesthetic sense and takes a soul even higher. Because one of the epithets of God in Hinduism is Sundaram, beautiful, Satyam, true, Shivam and Sundaram, that which is auspicious, that which is true. That itself is beautiful, and we see this world in front of us. There's an undeniable fact that it has been acting on our minds for ages and ages and ages, and it has cultivated the human mind. So the sounds and smells and taste and sights and everything, it's so beautiful. Is it? Life also is ugly. The meaningless struggles and the pains and the genocides and the Holocaust and the murders and the crime and the unnecessary suffering that life attracts. Life attracts. It's in a very powerful way. Life has got another dimension. It's beautiful, and at the same time it's ugly. And religions have been trying to grapple with this evil. Why should there be evil in this world? If it's the handiwork of God, He shouldn't have created such a thing. Yeah, it's true. And they have invented places where there is no evil. Okay, you suffer a little, get beaten up a little, cry a little, and then you go to a place where there is no evil. As if that was possible. And people have been imagining all types of heavens. And yet, when death comes, they quake because there is that uncertainty, there is a fear. Now what? So death stalks life. In fact, death is embedded in life. The averse and the reverse is the same. This is life and this is death. The lamp is constantly burning, and that is its life. We see the lamp. We don't see the oil down there constantly burning. So here we have that stalks us day and night. In fact, every moment we need to die so that we can live every moment. It's a staggering fact, and it's a sobering truth also. Because we are apt to think, oh, death, it's not for me now, or not. Because Yudhishthira in the Mahabharata was asked the question, what's the most wonderful thing in this world? And Yudhishthira is saying, Ahanni hanni bhutani gachanti ramandiram. Every day we see people die, yet we think that we will not die. That's the most wonderful thing. We have not confronted life as it is. And that's the reason why we are afraid of evil and we are afraid of death. Death to us is a friend. The actual experience of death is, it's a great release. It's not something evil as is depicted. So here we are. Life has got such huge, you can say, dimensions. Life is also interconnected. And as we know, and thank God for science, it's teaching us that one life balances another. No life is insignificant. We may look at it as insignificant. We may look at ourselves as insignificant. But no. That's a great web of life. In the Mundaka Upanishad, the illustration is given of a spider that throws out a web out of itself and withdraws that web back into itself. So the matrix throws out this huge web of life. And in the Upanishads and even the Bhagavad Gita, you find the analogy of a tree, a great tree of life. It's called Urdhva Mula, the roots upside down. Generally, we see the tree as a tree. Her roots are hidden. But in this case, if you go to a bank of a river or a lake, you will see a tree on the banks, it's upside down. Here you are. So this tree of life comes down with the stems and branches and twigs and leaves and spreads out all over. We are all connected. And today, thanks to science, all life has almost the same DNA. The tree, the plant, the animal, the insects, the birds, the works. Even something called the low life that we see in this world has got the same blueprint. It carries that same history, that long evolutionary history of 4 billion years, 3.5 billion years. We carry this in our DNA. That memory is there in us. We have traversed all these millions and millions of years. That's life replicating itself. And it cannot replicate in an isolated way. It has to replicate in an environment which is connected. So life balances life. Life is connected to life. And here we are. No life is useless. No life is insignificant. In one of our mythological literature, we have Indra, the king of the gods. We have many heavens and we have many gods. We don't stick to one. We like variety. In Indra's heaven, Indra is a king of the gods and all are subservient. There is something called Indrajal, the net of Indra. Magicians are called Indrajals. They are the magicians. Indra was supposed to be the greatest of all magicians. So in his heaven, there is a net, a vast net stretching almost to infinity. And at the knot of every, you can say, net, the tie, there is a tiny jewel that hangs. So when you see the net, you see the jewels hanging and it's stretching to infinity. You don't know where it starts and where it ends. If you go closer to the jewel, you see the whole net in that jewel. You see infinity in a tiny jewel. The whole net in there. And if you see the reflection of that jewel, in that jewel itself, you will see once again that infinitude, that vast net. So there's a world within a world within a world within a world. How do you know it? Hold on to one thing. The microcosm and the macrocosm are built on the same plan. You cannot pull one atom out of this universe. You've got to drag the whole universe out. There you are, interconnected. And this was, it seems poetic, it seems magical. Sometimes we use words and syntax to create a kind of a verbal delusion. That's what the Yoga Sutra says. Is this experienced? Yes. In fact, one of the experiences of Swami Vivekananda was in Almora, in India, was he seen the microcosm and the macrocosm are built on the same plan. He's seen both of them. Amazing. The whole universe vibrates in an atom. In the Bhagavad Gita, life is spoken of, creation is spoken of as a wheel, chakra. This is the great wheel of life. Evam pravartitam chakram. Here the wheel of creation rolls. Now what is this wheel of creation? In this wheel of creation, you have to live for others. And one who lives for oneself, his life is in vain. Aghayur indriya ramo. Mogham parthasi. His life is in vain who lives only for oneself. You are not just a genetic body and mind. You have a different dimensions. What are the different dimensions? This. My lungs breathe. Yeah, but there's a tree out there that helps in that. So my lungs are connected to that. You are connected. Every part of your body is connected to the external world and to all life. And this is the great wheel of life that is moving. No one can stay it, because that's the wheel of God. And in the last chapter of the Bhagavad Gita says that we are like small, you can say, dolls probably, stuck on this mighty wheel. And God keeps on revolving this wheel. That mighty wheel of life is called the wheel of Maya, Mahad Brahma. Evam pravartitam chakram. It's a great wheel of life. And amazing. Today science is bringing to us this wheel of life in all its majesty, in all its dimensions. Life exists on multiple levels. And today we are so fortunate to become aware of just me and my delusion. No, life is individual. Life is universal. And that is a lesson of this Vedanta philosophy. Life seeks life. We are averse to dead bodies. Quickly bury it or burn it or whatever, do it, dispose stuff. Wherever there is life, your life is attracted, it's drawn to, it's pulled, it gravitates towards life. And that's one of the reasons why this search for extraterrestrial life, naturally, people who are questioning what's the use of spending so much money and resources and time for this kind of a thing. Oh no. It's in our innate nature to seek life. If it's not here, somewhere out. And we know that this life here exists. And we are in a kind of an insignificant arm of a Milky Way. Where nobody even bothers. What's the sun? In case we find life outside this universe, outside the solar system, it will change our perceptions of life here on earth. We are not alone. Yes, it's a massive, we can say, fact that we'll have to contend with. What form is that life? Will it exterminate this life? What? And in case we do not find life anywhere, even after, we'll keep on searching. We will keep on searching till the very end. In case we do not find life, then the perception of our life here on earth is going to radically change. There is no life which is worthless. Every life is precious, and we will protect this life. We will stop fighting this madness wars, this madness, this crime, this wanton killing. We will see and understand life as a kind of a unique phenomena that's here. And we are participants in this life processes. It's a tremendous, you can say, knowledge that's going to liberate us. And it will bring in the sense of responsibility. That is very important. We will be responsible for every life. We will be responsible for every moment of our lives. There is a theory called Panspermia. It's a kind of this earth was seeded with life from outside. And I'll read Swami Vivekananda's quote. By the by, it may interest some of you to know that there are theories in the Vedic philosophy about the origins of life on this earth, similar to those which have been advanced by some modern European scientists, that life came from other planets. Here we are. Whether the first seeds came in and then it was cultured in this great soup of this oceans or some thermal vents, we do not know. But today we are in a kind of a unique position. We ask somebody, how old are you? Oh no, that's not your age. Hey, you might, for all conventional purposes, you might be 30 or 40 or 50, whatever. But you are the age of this universe. And it's 13.7 billion years. You had a long, long journey. Every particle in your body has been built from star stuff. Stars have exploded in the huge supernovas and have seeded this universe with material. So we are actually the universe. Our bodies have been cycling and recycling all materials. So something distant and unrelated to me will not do. This whole universe is one. It is one. We are part of this great fabric of life. This is the wonderful time to understand the matrix. It's amazing. And nature has, through its long 13.7 billion years, has been working on materials, and the finest it can produce is that which is there in the skull, the brain. It has made us self-aware. Here we are. There's a book by Amit Goswami called The Self-Aware Universe. The universe is trying to know itself. And we have the privileged position to know the universe. Maybe that's a plan of nature. The nature will design such beings through which the universe will know itself. This universe is now self-aware. That awareness is not something outside. This awareness is inside. We are now becoming aware of this universe, and the universe is there in our minds and in our bodies. There we are. And this is the greatest gift of a human being. This self-consciousness. Dolphins, chimpanzees, they have a a kind of a glimmer of self-consciousness. But here we have the self-consciousness unfurled. Yoga unfurls it even more. That's the whole point of yoga. Unfurl your consciousness. Consciousness is always self-consciousness, as Erwin Schrödinger says. Consciousness is always self-consciousness. You are always aware of the self. The self is always associated with consciousness. It's not flying about here or hanging about somewhere in the air. So we are part of the universe, and the universe is trying to understand itself. For the last 8,000 to 10,000 years, humankind has been tailoring this universe, this external world. Oh yes, our dogs and cats and horses and cows and plants and animals, we've been doing the tinkering. God has created the banana, God has created the cow. Please, wait. We have been tinkering with interbreeding with the genetics. It's not just Gregor Mendel who was experimenting with peas. The wheat, the rice and corn and everything is a result of crossbreeding. We see which is the most fruitful, which is the most rugged. And we have been tailoring this universe through agriculture. So long, for millions of years, we were subject to evolution. Yes, we were like playthings in the hands of evolution. Powerful evolutionary forces was designing and redesigning us, fine-tuning us all life. Today, we are participants in this great movement. Genetics, technology, even cloning, whatever. Somewhere we have been able to now start helping nature, helping or destroying nature, I don't know. But it is here to stay. Whether we want it or no, we have been given a kind of a responsibility also to create life. Artificial intelligence is here to stay. It's already here. So there are dangers? Yeah, there are dangers, yes. So what is there? My argument is, so long we have been playthings of nature, now we are participants with nature in designing, in tailoring lives. We've already been doing this with medicines, trying to cut off some of the diseased, you can say, genetic code there. We've gotten to the heart of matter, the heart of life. And we have not even come to this reincarnation. I'll leave it as that. Because reincarnation is, you are reincarnated over and over and over again. But since the topic is a matrix, we'll get down to the matrix. What I just spoke about is just common knowledge found in scriptures and books and scientific journals or whatever. It's nothing new to us. When we see this world, the first thing that happens, for a mature mind, is what is this universe composed of? We know there's a periodic table and we know this. And when we try to discover, like we all do, trying to whittle things down, trying to narrow things down, try to separate things so that we can study it. we find matter in its various forms, and we have something called energy, what in India we call Akash and Prana. Akash is the universal material. Space. Akash is space. Saying space. Space is empty. Says who? Space is not empty. All the possibilities of life and everything are in that space. There's no empty space. That's the crucible. Space is the crucible. We have risen from space. And that matter has evolved. We have something like dark energy and dark matter comprising more than 90% of this universe. And it's invisible. It's called dark. And this visible universe that we see, the matter, is only 4%. I think there's a book called The 4% Universe. We love this. I was so happy when I said, yeah, finally, people are talking about Akash. Finally. Here we are. It's space. And from that space, we have some, you can say, froth on the waves of this vast ocean of matter, of space. So the visible universe is just a kind of a froth. That relieves us. Vedanta was worried, what will happen? Of course. We have also, now where is this matter? It's everywhere, in the periodic table, in fire, in water and earth. What exactly is this? As space keeps on vibrating, the vibrations become more and more intense, and out of that is evolved matter. Here we are. Tasmad va etasmad atmano akasha sambhuta akashad vayu. When the space keeps on vibrating, the first thing is the great wind. Vayu Ragni, as the vibrations get more and more intense, it becomes hot. Then fire rises. Then as fire is in a heat, and then there's condensation and there's water. And that condenses further and becomes the earth. Here we have spandana, vibration. Space. And all matter needs some power to impel it. What is that? It's called prana. The universal force. In thought, in the biological cell, in my emotions, in my intellect, in my body, everywhere. Whatever force or energy is there is prana. Whatever material is there, it's akash. So Vedanta has reduced this whole universe of multiplicity to two factors. They went a little further on and said, now, science, at least till here, more or less, they are with us. Then comes Einstein and says, E is equal to mc square. There. Matter is energy. Yes, they are not true. So where did they arise from? We say that there is a universal mind. The universal mind splits itself into these two forces. There's a unity there in the universal mind, or the cosmic mind, as I say. Because life is in its cosmic dimensions. You have to look at things in cosmic time. There's the cosmic mind that splits itself into. The difficulty in understanding Eastern metaphysics or philosophy is this. We say the mind arises first, and from the mind arises matter and energy and everything. While in the West, it is matter first, and then mind. Here we are. So we have reversed the whole thing. So which comes first, matter or mind? In the ultimate analysis, it's all the same. Because the two arms of the circle will meet. So from the universal mind split itself into matter and energy. Now when we say, what produced this cosmic mind? Yes, the Upanishads are very clear that there is a universal soul, which we call God. And every religion, every culture or subculture, whatever, have independently arrived at this intuitive knowledge of there is a being. They never had to be taught. No one has taught people about God. It's there within you. Where has this impulse come from? That's because that universal soul has split itself into these individual souls. We are part of the universe, part of that great dance of matter, great cosmic dance of energy, the great cosmic dance of reality. Here we are. Individually, as I said, the microcosm and the macrocosm work on the same plan. Now, we have seen that there is something called the reality. You call it God, you call it Allah, you call it Jehovah, you call it Brahman, whatever. From that arises that reality. When it creates, it has to have a mind. Simple as that. God said, let there be light. Ekoham bhavishyama. I am one, let me be many. That says that there's a mind there. You cannot have God as a mindless being out there. It's a little dangerous there. God is mindless. Can't he see, or she? In India we like to use the word she. That's a matrix. Can't he see we are struggling, we are dying? Can't he see? God is mindless. It's kind of blind. You can see laws that he has created and we are suffering from it. No. So, in our bodies, we see three things. We have a body, we have a mind. If you ask somebody, where's your mind? Oh, my mind was elsewhere. I did not hear you or see you. I was absent-minded. But where is the mind? Where's the seat of the mind? I don't know, but it has to be somewhere inside. That's for sure. This is a universal experience. I know it's here inside, somewhere. And then, is there a soul? Here the Buddhists come and say, no, there is no soul. What do you mean there's no soul? Why do you have to bring these things as soul and universal, you can say soul and all these things? Matter explains itself. Mind explains itself. There's no unity. It's like two layers of a river. The topmost layer flows at a different rate than the bottom layer. It's always. There's absolutely no connection. And why do you need to bring the soul? Idea of a soul. So, but we feel we will not die, we are immortal, we've even designed a place for us. Oh yes. Oh. They say take a firebrand and whirl it around, and what do you see? You see a circle of light. due to the persistence of vision, you have a circle of light. Does the circle exist? Yeah, it is there, it is not there. The ideas of the soul are like that. And this argument is an old argument, 2,500-year-old argument. It's been taken up by some modern atheists and even science, and saying that it's kind of an illusion. There's no soul. We can understand you have matter and bodies and minds. Fine. This is a kind of illusion. Well, religions say, no, we have a soul. What is religion without a soul? Of course, in India, we can have a religion without a soul. Not in the West. In India, Buddhism is a religion without a soul. Ah, there you are. And we can have a religion even without God. That's what Buddhism and Jainism and Sankhya philosophy does. No, there is no need for a God. Why do you want to bring this kind of God, personal God, who is inadequate? Why do you kill somebody and why do you save me? That's my business. That's God business. It's a difficult business. He cannot answer some basic questions if he is there. Get hold of him and say, why do you kill somebody in a tsunami or in a kind of a landslide? Why? And you're saving some poor child of some diseases. Oh God, I felt the presence of God. And what was God doing there? This inherent contradictions. So they did away with contradictions and they had to do away with God also. In mainstream Indian philosophies, what we did was, we combined both of them together. The good and the bad. The beautiful and the ugly and the life and death and everything's together. Don't separate them. That's a mistake. And this world is the world of relativity. What is good to me today is evil to me tomorrow, is bad to me tomorrow. What is good to me is someone else's joy. So in this world of relativity, why do you separate the good and bad? These are childish dreams. There is something called good and there is something called evil, and both are eternally separate. You will fall into contradictions. And this is where atheists and everyone, they try to attack religions. Because we have not been able to formulate mature arguments against this good and evil doctrine. So here we are, whether the soul is an illusion, in the world of I am. Do you see that? That's the soul for you. It does not exist. Body is a stream of continuously changes. Continuous changes. Mind is another stream of continuous changes. And this changeableness gives rise to the illusion of a soul. And we say, Vedanta says, God is real. And everything else is an illusion. What? The Vedantists will say, can you prove matter? You ask me, can you prove God? Wait first, can you prove that matter exists? And today, thank God, science is with us. It's kind of an illusion. It's like hologram. And they say, that the atom is just simply empty space. Here we are. Matter as matter does not exist. When you see me or I see you, where are you seeing me? Here or in your brain? Here you are. Matter is deceptive. There's no color outside. Where do you see the color? In my brain. Oh, I see. So matter cannot be proved to exist. We say God is real and matter is an illusion. Why do we say this? Because human beings are innately designed to seek reality. We will go only to those things which are real. We will not be enamored by illusion. You go to a magic show and it's so wonderful, but you know it's magic. It's an illusion. It's unreal. Your heart won't be in it. Our heart is in reality. Human beings are designed, their minds are designed to seek reality. And that's the reason why we have diverse religious doctrines. And this is the problem with religions. They are quarreling with each other. My point of view is the only point of view. I think Sri Ramakrishna has leveled the playing field. There we are. It's your point of view, it's your view of reality, you go towards it. You don't need to quarrel about those things. So we have religion saying that the soul is real and what you see outside is a manifestation of that soul. So are we the body separate, the mind separate and the soul separate? The Buddhist, as I level some arguments, their arguments, or are they three in one? One existence appearing as three. When you have the perception of the body, you don't have the perception of the mind. And that's the reason why people are searching for the mind in the brain. Good luck to them. And they are searching for the soul inside somewhere here. When you have the perception of just the body, your mind and soul has vanished. When you have the perception of the mind, your body vanishes. In deep meditation, when the mind goes through a kind of an upheaval, rises higher, you don't have the perception of the body. And when you have the perception of the soul, the perception of the mind and the body disappear. Yeah. So Vedanta says, they are not three things. There one thing appearing as three. You are a soul endowed with consciousness, bliss, existence, the Satchidananda. Now all these things might seem a little speculative. Oh my God, it could be just a play of words. Yeah, there are arguments again. So these two opinions, whether the soul is an illusion or the soul people, the soulful people always talking, we are trying to search our soulmates. What? Soulmates? There is no such thing as soulmates. You have a body mate or you have mind mate. You don't have a soulmate. Searching for the soulmate. You search for the soul. That is religion. So whether all this is speculation or whether just philosophy, remember one thing, in India, philosophy came later. First came the experience. Vivekananda says, these things were practical first and philosophical next. So it's not speculation. What the sages discovered in their meditation was all true. It can be verified. The matrix can be verified. Really? You can go there, yato vai, that's a source, that's a womb. And as the Bhagavad Gita says, that Mama Yonid Mahar Brahma, my womb is a great sustainer. And in that I place the seed. Tasmin Garbham Dadamyaham. God is both the mother as well as the father, both the matter as well as consciousness. What we see today is both matter and consciousness. So that teaching, yes, is perfectly okay. You can give really some grand theories. One time, Swami Vivekananda, he was an adept in meditation. Sri Ramakrishna says, no? He was a dhyana siddha. He was adept in meditation since he was a young boy. And in fact, one of the first questions Sri Ramakrishna asked was, my boy, do you see a white light between your eyebrows just before you go to sleep? He said, yes, I do. Doesn't everyone? Everyone doesn't do it. He thought everyone used to see a kind of white light. And he used to lie down on his stomach and he used to watch that light change hues and then explode. And that white light used to bathe his body. And he used to fall asleep. He thought everybody fell asleep like that. We know. We need pills to fall asleep. But he was a past master in meditation. So he used to meditate. One day he seen a vision and he came to his guru, Ramakrishna, in Dakshineshwar. He's trying to describe to him that vision. What exactly have you seen? I'm seeing a kind of a luminous triangle pulsating and changing hues. And then he keeps on describing. Sri Ramakrishna says, you have seen the source of creation. You have seen the matrix. I too have seen this matrix. And every moment that matrix is producing worlds and worlds and worlds. It's spewing out, as you say. So, Swami Vivekananda, yeah, thank God. My vision is not a kind of a illusion. Here we have a direct experience of the matrix. And creation is always, the very word creation means God created this universe and He's taking rest. Oh, don't worry, in India we have God is lying down on His bed of a huge snake and taking rest. What's that? He's taking rest because he's tired after all this creative activity. Then He's not a creator. If God has to take rest, He's not a creator anymore. Creation and creator are like two parallel lines running together. As long as there is creation, there will be a creator. And this creator's creativity or creative energies does not exhaust by just producing one solar system. What's that? It's continuous. It's almost inexhaustible. It's infinite. Creation is constant. You cannot have this world was created some billions of years ago and now God is a little engaged, tired and taking rest. No! We don't want such a God. What kind of God is this? No, it's a human God. We don't want a human God. We want a superhuman God. And this is where we must understand creation is constant. That matrix is alive. It's constantly creating worlds and worlds that Swami Vivekananda experienced. That Ramakrishna experienced. So this is the matrix. It is now there, pulsating, palpable. Where? It's there in our own souls. The soul and the mind and the body, this whole creative process is sustained because of this matrix. If the matrix stops, everything stops. We cannot afford that kind of reality. And that's the reason why to search for this matrix, we have to dive deep within our soul. And as we plunge deeper and deeper in within our souls, you find your individuality melting. And obviously, into something which is called universality. The Buddhist was saying, the individual soul as an illusion. Vedanta says, yes. The individual soul within you is a kind of a temporary reality. It's called vyavaharika, a temporary. As long as this body is there, you have a soul. But as you keep on plunging deep down in your soul, not searching for your soulmate, of course, and there you find it's emerging out into universality. That is the nature of every individual. That is the nature of this universe. That is the nature of the matrix. This is the nature of reality. And Bhrigu, when he was taught by his father Varuna, he added a word. Tad vijignyasva. This has to be known. You simply, I keep on telling you and you go away. Saying, no, this has to be known. Tat vijignyasvad. This has to be known. I mean, Sanskrit seems a little kind of distant to you, but don't worry, it is like a gnya dhatu. That is, the root is gnya, to know. And the same root is found in gnya, in knowledge, gnostics, gnosis, all these things. So this has to be known, this has to be realized. Is it possible in this? Yes, it is possible. When you know where to seek for it. As Swami Vivekananda sought for it in his own heart, in his own meditations. And he had a vision that corresponded to reality. I'll stop here. I don't want to make this thing even more heavier. But we are the matrix. We are part of the matrix. We are the origins. If we can find our origins, we will find a goal. Because everything moves in a huge circle. That's the cyclic nature of things. So, jahan shuru wahan khatam. There's an old song. Where you begin, there you end. And once you've seen the reality, come back and tell the people, this is the reality. This is the matrix. This is the source. This is God. And we live the rest of our life in an intensely joyful, blessed state. There, life becomes divine. It's not beautiful or ugly or connected. Life is divine. And that's what the Bhagavad Gita teaches. Daivi hesha gunamai. This my Maya is divine. You will see divinity everywhere. Everything is suffused with divinity. Everything is suffused with the soul. Then no longer will you say, is the soul an illusion or is matter an illusion? Everything is suffused with divinity. This is the goal of spiritual disciplines. This is the goal of human life. If it is too large a goal, we have to make those appropriate sacrifices. And those who can, reach the goal. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.